Good morning, professional photographers of Idaho and beyond. I am your host today, Bob Ryder. My co-host Larry Fry is off on a driving trip to the Pacific Northwest. He's doing a wedding shoot this weekend, and he's getting a jump start. He likes to attend the rehearsal, which I always did when I was shooting weddings too. I think a wise wedding photographer attends the rehearsal and sees where the potential pitfalls of wedding day may fall. So anyway, Larry's on the road today, so it's just you folks and me. I know Laquita's here with me, and Laquita and I have a big day today. I am going to assist her on a photo shoot this afternoon out in Kuna. I'm kind of excited about that. Isn't that right? Anyway, she's going to tell me that's right because I've got that on my calendar for today. We've got a good topic for today. It's something that I've been trying to get to for a couple of weeks, and it actually comes from a friend of mine. So I'm going to share all those details with you a little bit later on. I've got a book I want to talk about and an experience I had last night, networking that I want to share with you. And I just want to hit a couple of the announcements. Laquita says yes today. So you know what I need to do is I need to take this topic promo slide off of there, and then I think I can come down here and go, let's see what's happening there. No, that didn't work. All right, we'll try something else. All right, so I need to bring you, let's get this up here. I actually need that to go away. Let's click that off. There it goes. I'm going to bring this back, and I want to roll this lower thirds. This is our save the date for 2023 convention for PPI. We are March 30th through April 2nd for the actual convention at the Courtyard by Marriott here in Meridian, same place that we were just a month or two ago. And this is going to be a great convention. Got a great board. We went away for a few days, did the board retreat, and I need to make sure that that music's off. Next time we roll back to that. We had a great board retreat. We spent 3 days just really getting down to brass tacks, planning our year, planning the next couple of years of what content we want to bring and how we want to bring that to you and what the emphasis is, what's the organization about, rediscussing about our mission statement, which is about building community, right? We're building community. I'm getting notifications all over the place. That's okay. Those are good notifications. Laquita, I'm glad you're here with me today. I don't know who else is on. I don't actually have the YouTube screen with me. I'm just watching the comments over there. So if you jump in and you're watching today, make sure that you're hitting the comments so I know that you're with me today. And let's talk about another save the date. This one is coming right up. Let's see if that's going to pop up here for us. There it is. Save the date. This is June 27th and 28th. This is a month away, folks. This is a month and a week away. We've got a 2-day workshop. Brian Walsh and Aaron Hockley are coming in. They're going to do the first whole day is going to be about how the 12 elements of a merit image relate to your everyday work. And I'm super looking forward to that because those two things haven't been connected for me yet. And I haven't yet pursued my master's degree with PPA. So I'm looking forward to hearing that connection, understand what I'm trying to say here? The 12 elements of a merit image are pretty well defined by PPA, and the judges are well trained. And I've had a couple of merit images here locally at our state convention that I never sent on to districts. And for me, you know, in business, it's about the green merit. It's about getting paid for the work that I do. But I understand that these two guys are going to come and talk to us about making those elements part of our everyday work and how that can improve what we're providing to our clients. And I think that's a really neat spin on that. I'm really looking forward to it. And I know both of those guys are doing the second day. Each one of those guys are doing their own program. I think Aaron is going to talk about how email is still relevant in today's market and how we can do some email marketing to enhance our business marketing. And then I can't remember what Brian's topic is. And I know that last weekend Larry couldn't either. And I'm sorry, Brian, if you're picking up this episode, I'll have to get those details from Sammy and find out more about what's going on. This is a lot harder, by the way, without a co-host, because some of the times that I have to stop and think about stuff, he's usually filling in, and vice versa. But today we're going to get to it. We're going to talk about the topic promo. I'm going to come back to that for just a minute. Let me get that up here. Let's just do the title slide here. That's what I really want to show you. There we go. Let's get that to go away. The secret recipe, folks, is show up, okay? And the question that people were asking me to start with is the secret recipe to what? Well, the secret recipe to what? This is the to what. I don't want to blow this all at once, but here it is. Here's the to what. The secret recipe is to your goals, aspirations, and ambitions. So what is the answer? What is that secret recipe? It's to show up. And I want to take some time to unpack that with you this morning. And it's nice to see my wife is watching the episode. So I've got Laquita and Bri. Mike Collins is usually working right about now. He used to be on all the time, but he picked up a job. And so he's not usually joining us live, but he picks up the watch afterwards. But really, this is about how do you go about attaining your goals? How do you go about reaching your aspirations? How do you go about getting your ambitions to come to fruition? And the answer to that is to show up. And so I'm going to take this to a really personal experience. I am, a lot of you know this already, and certainly I know that Laquita and my wife know this. I'm currently fighting through some spine troubles. I've been not quite wheelchair bound, but I'm using a wheelchair about 50% of the time to get around. I'm using a wheelchair in public, and I've just started returning to networking. If you've been watching any of my episodes for the last couple of years, you know that networking is how I make my business. I've missed the first quarter of this year for networking. I haven't been there, and we feel it in our bottom line, right? We feel it in the booking calendar. We feel it in the bank account, because the way I market my business is by reaching out to clients and meeting them where they're at. I'm just going to queue up here. I'm going to come over to social and we have auto feed. And I think the last thing that was said was good morning. My wife said good morning. I'm going to leave that on. I'm going to see if that'll auto scroll as you comment, and just say good things, because I need to hear them today. Bringing this right up to present. So we've lost the last 3 months of networking, and I've just started getting back out to networking. My favorite group to network with right now is the Meridian Chamber of Commerce. They're just terrific people. They've got great humans at the center of that organization, and that is human, and humanity is at the center of our organization. It is the thing that all of the things that we do comes back to. It is what guides our give. Our last episode last week was do good. Our give is photographing police officers. Being a retired cop, it's my way of pouring into my Blue Line family. We did 8 officers this week, all brand new to the Meridian area, all from out of state. And what an absolute joy it was to stand here in the studio with these men and tell them that I'm not doing this for the government. I'm not doing this for the department. I'm not doing this for your administration, that I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for the people that care about you, whether you're married or you have folks that care about you, or you have children, whatever that might look like to you, whoever it is that cares about you. The pictures that we take of police officers, of specifically the Meridian police officers, is about them. And we encouraged each of them to send us an email asking us for the pictures so that we could easily just shoot that out to them afterwards. And we photographed all 8 of those guys. All 8 of these guys smile. The joy that they bring to the game, the joy that they have when we tell them that this isn't for the administration. You know, everybody groans, like, go over here. Their sergeant says, go here and see this guy and get your picture taken. And they don't know that it's for them. But when they arrive and we have this conversation, and I'm able to share that with them, it's so powerful. It's a powerful moment. It's super powerful for me, and the emails that I got from these guys, both before and after we delivered images to them, they also get to deliver to the agency. Does the agency benefit from them? Sure they do. And that's important to me too. I want to support that in my community. But just love it on these guys in my own special way with my talent and my time is very important to me. And that was last week's conversation, was about doing good. And I want to hear, now that you've had a week to kind of think about that, what it is that maybe you've come up with that you want to be your do good. I know Laquita, we've talked a little bit about shelter animals, and that didn't roll right in there, but I'm going to click it. It is a beautiful thing to do, and it's so fulfilling to me to touch these humans, especially when our society does a really good job at dehumanizing the uniform and dehumanizing the badge and making it seem like it's something that it's not. The men and women that get in that uniform every day do something extraordinary. They go into situations where most people are running away from, and they're running towards it. And it speaks to bravery and courage and honor, and none of them are in it for any kind of glory. It's anyway. I thank you, Laquita. It is a beautiful thing for us to do, and it feels that way to me. So I've talked before about my 3 Ps. That's the things that we look at to do every job. I'm way off topic, and I've got a couple more announcements I need to hit, I think. I'll come back to that in a minute, but this is really relevant to last week's conversation. And we talk about our 3 Ps a little bit. I think I need to do an episode on it. But before we accept work, it's got to please me, pay me, or build my portfolio. And if it hits one of those, we consider it. If it hits 2 of those, it's an absolute take it. If it hits 3 of those, it's kind of like all the stars have aligned, and it's a perfect scenario. But just hitting the 2 of those, that it pleases me and builds my portfolio, really is enough, right? To do the thing that you do, that you love to do, and give that work to somebody else. And this is totally different from the working for free conversation that we've had before, and that we'll probably have again over and over and over, because free work sucks, but passion work doesn't, okay? All right, so today's topic, let me come back to that. I need to roll over to that window. And again, our title slide is The Secret Recipe. Show up, and that is what we're trying to do to reach our goals, to get to our ambitions, to reach our aspirations, right? So let me take those down, all right? And I've got to tell you where this came from. I think today's going to be a short episode because it's just me, and you don't want to listen to me for an hour. I'm going to tell you where that came from here in just a minute, but I was going somewhere with talking about missing the first quarter of networking. We started networking a week or 2 ago with a luncheon. A luncheon's a really easy thing to roll into in a wheelchair because everybody's sitting down. Okay? So you're not the guy at waist level for everybody. Last night we did our first in-person, and by we, I mean my wife and I, with me in a wheelchair, went to our first business after-hours event with me in a wheelchair. And it was really different. We grabbed a table pretty straight away, and some people that we adored gravitated to us. I got to meet parents of a friend whose parents are visiting. They brought them to the networking event. That was a just wonderful joy. And I got to have a very deep discussion with a friend of mine who had a very difficult diagnosis this past couple weeks. It's a good thing, right? And this is me overcoming the part of me that says I don't want to go meet people in my wheelchair, right? Sorry, this is pretty personal, and I guess I didn't mean it to go this way quite as much as I'm feeling it. But when you roll up behind a guy who's 6'2", you're rolling up to their waist, and if you come in from the behind, like the back of them, it's just really awkward, right? So I roll up to a couple of guys, and I'm speaking before I get to them because I want them looking my way before I get to them. And I'm getting double takes, and I'm getting people that don't recognize me for a moment, and then it clicks, and they're like, "What happened?" And that's a whole different deal, right? But I probably let it out of the bag a short time ago that I'm reading this book, okay? And Laquita, I think I'm going to pass this to you next. This is The Introvert's Edge to Networking. And most of you would be like, why are you reading a book on introverted networking? And I originally picked up this book because I want to understand how my introverted friends look at networking, right? Because I'm pretty extroverted. I'm super extroverted. Maybe I'm extra, right? One of my friends was described as just being extra the other day. And I think sometimes I'm extra too. Because I'm extroverted and extroverted. But I'm finding myself in a situation where some of the things in this book are applying to my scenario right now, where I can't work a room. Like I can't go in and well, there's somebody over there that I'd like to talk to, and there's somebody over there that I haven't seen in a little while, and there's somebody over there that I want to talk up, and I can't do that, right? I just can't get through the room. The things are crowded. There's chairs and people everywhere. So I wind up kind of gravitating to one place, and people coming to me, and then later in the game trying to reach the people that I want to reach. And it's more along the lines of the way this gentleman, and this is Matthew Pollard, wrote this book with Derek Lewis. And I'm enjoying the book. It's a there's some pretty broad strokes at the beginning when he talks about extroverts, and I can see that. Kind of the loud, blustery, maybe car salesman-y type stuff. And you see some of that too. I see less and less of that now. I see more relationship building in the networking side. Maybe we should have a conversation about this, right? All right, so anyway, I want to come back to our topic today, and here's our title again. The secret recipe is showing up. So I decided that it's time to start showing back up to the thing that feeds my business. And I got this idea from a friend of mine. His name is Keith Eastman. I'm going to put a slide up here. Yeah, here he is. This is Keith Eastman. He's the marketing manager for Trinity Trailer Manufacturing, and they're outside of Boise here in the Treasure Valley. And he says, this is from LinkedIn, he says, here's the secret recipe to all your goals, aspirations, and ambitions. Show up. Show up on time. Show up for others. And I want to talk about that for a minute. Show up for yourself. That's a really big deal. And show up ready and prepared. And this was a Monday, so he, of course, said Happy Monday, everyone. And showing up ready and prepared for me looks a lot like showing up early, right? We've heard that phrase, early is on time and on time is late. I like to be early. I like to get the lay of the land. I like to be in a room first, so I understand where things are going to take place and maybe build a strategic plan on how I might go about working that room or working the people in that room. And by working it, I'm just talking about making the connections that I want to make. But showing up for others is kind of a big deal. When you make a contract, when you make plans, when you make arrangements, like I've got with Laquita, right? For today to come do some work in the field with her. I'm going to come back to the social side. She says relationships are the best. Relationships are everything, right? It all comes back to the humanity aspect of it. Maybe I've got the wrong title for today because this is really where I'm feeling moved and led today is just that this is about the humanity in it and showing up for the people that you care about, showing up for the people that care about you. So showing up ready, that's me. I've done, if I'm going to go to a meeting and pitch a client, I've already looked at what the client does. I'm not showing up blind. I know what the client does. I know who the managers are. I know who the ownership is. I know where they're based. I know where they're located. I know where they have different offices. I don't know everything about them, but I've done some research, so I have an understanding of what their framework looks like. Am I dealing with a mom and pop team? Am I dealing with an executive team? Am I dealing with a corporation of 500 or 5,000 or 50,000? You know, what does it look like? That's showing up ready, folks. Showing up for others looks a lot like meeting your commitments, right? And I'd love to hear what you're saying about that. For some reason, these aren't auto feeding, I don't think, when you mention them, Laquita, but showing up for those relationships, that is crucial, right? The relationships are crucial. And then showing up for yourself, this is a big deal, and I had to get to this point with my networking that I'm okay being, maybe this is a vanity thing, like I'm okay being seen in public in a wheelchair, and I'm feeling like, well, people don't want to hire a guy to do what I do who's in a wheelchair because they're wondering how I can get the job done. And I'm not finding that to be the case. And I have that conversation with them like, hey, we're still working, I'm able to walk, I'm in a wheelchair in this environment because it's safer for me, but we're definitely still working. We've expanded our studio, we've got a great team, we've expanded our team to help meet the needs of my clients, given my current situation. So that's showing up for the others, but it's also showing up for myself. So we did that last night. We showed up to this thing, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna be myself, and I'm gonna be myself in a wheelchair, and that's okay. We taught a great workshop here. Oh, look, Quee's got another one, and I can't read it on that screen, so I'm gonna bring it over here. Being more others-centered will grow relationships in a positive and deep way. It's not about me. It's not about me, right? And I think a lot of time extroverts are looked at that it is really about them. And I think you can easily find people that will take from you whatever you're willing to give. We've had that conversation a little bit over the last several months of our Friday Lives. But in reality, when you're others-centered, like we are with our give or with our clients, when we're really showing up for our clients in that ready and prepared manner, and my equipment's not half-assed, and if something breaks, I've got spares, and I'm ready. Like, I'm really ready. And we show up. And usually we try to show up in a pretty spectacular fashion. When we show up to some of our location work, we're showing up 5 or 6 people strong. We show up with all of our equipment. How can I say this? We're not carrying random objects in random ways. We show up very intentionally. Intentionality, or showing intentional, showing things intentionally is part of our work method. It's part of the way we try to do business. And I think you're right with that there. So coming back, I want to talk about Keith here for a minute. I got to go to a different screen over here. Keith's quote, I read this. Keith is a great guy. Keith actually goes to my church over at Rock Harbor, and that's how I know him. He's always working with the kids, and he reaches kids and adults in ways that I wish I had some of those skills. But he's a super smart guy, and he's actually, if you should follow him on LinkedIn. I like a lot of the stuff he likes, so it's really easy for me to want to spend time looking at what he's posting or liking or commenting on. But that's kind of it, folks. I could beat this into the ground, but the whole idea is show up. Show up for yourself, show up for others, show up ready, show up prepared, show up on time, show up well equipped, show up happy, show up, help me out here. How else can we show up, Laquita? I want to know. I want to know what your thoughts are. How else do we show up? What kinds of things are important when we show up? And I'm not just talking about screwing your happy face on. If you're not doing work that brings you happiness to start with, if you're not finding joy in your work, then maybe you're not doing the right work, right? So coffee break. I'm going to take a sip here. We try to be really intentional with our planning with our Friday Lives. If you're here or if you're watching the Friday Live, it's because we've planned it. We've intentionally set space and time to do this. Oh, let's take a minute to talk about Members Connect going forward. We suspended the Members Connect after convention until our new board had an opportunity to come together and come to some consensus on what we want to do with our Members Connect, which, if you aren't following, is a members-only benefit to PPI members, and it's the first and third Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m., and we're going to run from 30 to 60 minutes. The idea is to just spend some time together, just checking in with each other, but each episode is going to unpack the topic of the previous Friday's Live. I'll let that sink in for just a minute. So our intention with the Members Connect isn't to do random things or play random games. It's to spend some time in conversation, maybe unpacking or breaking down or discussing the things that were brought to you through this mechanism, through our Friday Lives the week prior. And there's so much material. There's so much material that we can talk about. So I'm hoping that that will build our viewership, that moving forward with intentionality with our Member Connects is going to bring value to that you'll have time to review the Friday Live over the weekend and bring your thoughts to the table on Tuesday evening. Again, it's the first and third Tuesday of each month. And over here, so Laquita says, show up with a positive attitude. That's so important, showing up with that positive attitude. Like I said, if you're not happy doing what you're doing, if it doesn't bring you joy, it's one of my 3 Ps, right? If it doesn't please me, if it doesn't please you, why are you doing it, right? So showing up with that positive attitude is really about bringing joy to the things that you're doing, and people will pick up on that. If you show up and you're complaining and grumpy and don't want to be there, guess what? That's what everybody else is going to pick up on and develop that same attitude towards that. All right, so let me come back to here. I want to see if there's any other points that I wanted to discuss. We did convention. I'll hit that lower thirds one more time. This is the save the date, March 30th to April 2nd. Again, this is going to be right here in Meridian at the Courtyard by Marriott, which I thought was a fantastic venue. Their courtyard is lovely. It just gave us wonderful opportunities for shooting. They've got a great lounge. I'm not getting paid by Marriott to talk about their hotel, but it's a great facility here in Meridian. And I just found a wonderful facility last night. And I can't think of the name of it, but they have a center over at Kleiner Park. It's the senior center, but they use the facility for other things. There's a church that meets there on Sunday mornings, and they have conference rooms and event spaces that are available for rent. And it's right at Kleiner Park, right by the village. Amazing. And the leadership there was fantastic, by the way. It was a good event last night. I was happy that I went. Again, our save the date for June. This is for the 2-day, this is what we call a continuing education workshop. So this is good CEs. If you are CPP or hold other degrees or certifications, these are good continuing education classes to help meet. Oh, Center at the Park. There's my wife chiming in. Let me get that over here on social. I still have saved the date up. I gotta shut that off, right? Save the date needs to go away. There it goes. And my wife says, Center at the Park. Thank you, wife. I appreciate that. Just a cool facility with a lot of space. Like most people, I didn't even know that was at Kleiner Park. It's awesome. They have a room that'll hold 200 some odd people. They've got a room that'll hold 70 people. They can divide into a 30 and 40 occupant spaces. They've got another room that holds 40 people, and they've got a boardroom that you can rent with TV, a large screen TV and everything. They'll seat about 14 people for $20. So anyway, I know where I'm going to hold some meetings from now on because that's awesome, right? Thanks for that, Brianna, pitching that in. I'm going to hit the last of these. Of course, if you're watching this after the fact, this is a biggie. We're $100 a year to join. That's the cheapest. It's the cheapest thing that you can do for your business that's going to grow your business, have the most impact on your business, have the most impact on your photographic skills, is surrounding yourself with other people that do what you do, that have a passion for what you do, that face the same problems that you do and find solutions to the questions that you have, right? And I know I'm preaching to the choir here because Laquita is on board and my wife is at everything that we do. And a lot of folks that are likely to watch this are probably our members. But if you're not a member of Professional Photographers of Idaho, go to ppofidaho.com, hit that join button, and you can pay your $9.95 a month with a 12-month commitment, or $99 a year. It's just one of those things that you might ask yourself, well, what do I get? Well, if you show up, you get everything. You get a social community, you get technical help, you get, I like to refer to myself, my friends refer to us as a rental studio because I'm happy to loan gear where it's needed or help out on jobs when it's needed. That's what you get. You get a community of professionals to help you grow in your skill set and in your business. And I went to lunch with one of our members this week and had a very meaningful discussion that I needed to have with another guy that faced the same stuff that I was facing. Anyway, it's just good. It's good. Join us. If you're here on YouTube watching this, which is the only place you're going to find it, I want you to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Our channel is growing slowly, and we'd love to have your help in growing us. So like and subscribe. Like the videos. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're going back and looking at some of the content that we put out almost every week for the last 2 years. There is a ton of content on here for you. And that's about it. It's normally Larry and I here. I'm going to try and we've got two fantastic women as board members. Kim Minter and Carrie Grant are both board members for your PPI, and I'm hoping on the show. I've got to get Kim off her horse. Anyway, she rides on Fridays. It's either Kim or Carrie rides on Fridays. Anyway, I want to bring those ladies on the show and bring you more content that way too. But instead of rambling to the very, very end here, I'm just going to leave it with our title slide. I'm going to fade it to black, and I'm going to see you next week with another great issue. I think our episode next week is going to be quality over quantity, and I just want you to think about that. I didn't bring the slide in for that. I didn't have time this morning, but quality over quantity. Think about how that might apply to what you're doing, right? right? Whether it's the number of pictures you take or the people that you surround yourself with, or your social media, right? Are you looking for a bunch of likes, or are you looking for people to spend money? Which way does that want to go? But anyway, there it is, folks. That's our quick Friday Live for you this week. I've got folks coming to insulate my studio today, and it sounds, I can hear my dog barking. It sounds like they might be here. So we're going to wrap it up right here. I hope you had a good time just watching along with us today, participating. Laquita and Brianna, thanks for being here and commenting. It makes the show go smoother when we have some comments to go along with it. But that's it. I'll see you next week for Quality Over Quantity.